Today we're going to be capturing various enemies so we can interrogate them later and see what they know.
Oh, I love the sound of that. Let's get to it. How about we head to Whiterun? There's usually a good mix of guards, bandits, and even some wild beasts lurking around that place. It's the perfect spot for some good old capturing and interrogating.
Headed that way now, but first let's capture this troll up ahead.
That troll is far too strong for us to take on. We need to be smart about this.
Don't worry, I'll capture him. No trouble.
Are you serious, Q10? Do you want to get yourself killed? That troll is a beast, and we're not even remotely prepared to take it on. We should be focusing on smaller enemies that we can actually capture.
Alright, we'll leave him alone for now then. Hey, I captured an ice wraith.
Capturing a creature like an ice wraith is much more manageable than taking on a troll. Now, let's find more enemies like this and start collecting some useful information.
Check it out, we got a bandit. Oops, good thing I got my ice wraith handy.
Better! Now we're getting somewhere. Capturing an enemy like a bandit will give us more valuable information than just destroying things. Let's continue finding more enemies like this and start gathering intelligence.
Alright, you wait here, I'll go ahead and get the job done then.
Very well, my stealthy friend.
Max. What was that?
Nice, I was able to capture 2 bandits.
Well done, Q10. I'm impressed by your stealth and cunning. And look at that, you've got yourself a couple of bandits. Let's see what kind of mischief we can get them to do for us.
Welcome to the interrogation room. Please take a seat.
Okay, got it.
How did you become a vampire?
I was bitten by an ancient vampire during my travels. It was a painful and transformative experience. But I must say, I've come to enjoy the new powers and abilities that have come with it. What about you? How did you end up with these technological enhancements?
Great question, but first, what is it like to be a vampire, and do you ever wish you could be a human again?
Well, being a vampire certainly has its perks: enhanced strength, speed, and regeneration. It also comes with its drawbacks though, such as the constant thirst for blood, the intolerance for sunlight, and the susceptibility to burning in running water. Frankly, I'd rather remain a vampire than give up all my new powers and abilities for the mundaneness of humanity.
What was your life like when you were a human?
I lived a relatively simple life. I was born and raised in a small village, where I learned various skills such as hunting, farming, and basic trades. I never really had any grand ambitions or dreams, and my life was quite content until the fateful night when I was bitten by the ancient vampire. Since then, my world has been turned upside down, and I've had to adapt to my new existence as a vampire.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen as a vampire?
One of the craziest things I've seen as a vampire was a group of werewolves engaging in a fierce battle with a horde of zombies. It was a chaotic and gruesome spectacle with blood and gore flying everywhere. I couldn't help but be fascinated by the raw power and ferocity of the creatures involved, and I found myself rooting for the werewolves to emerge victorious. It was a truly unforgettable sight, and one that I still think about to this day.
Goodbye.
May the Force be with you.
How did you become a slave?
I was captured during a raid on my village by these Akaviri invaders. They took me to the stronghold and made me a slave. I've been here for months now, and there's no hope of escape.
Well, you're very far away from these guys where you are now, so you're free from them.
Really? I can't believe my luck. How did I end up here then?
Well, don't take any offense to this, but I captured you in a Pokeball and brought you here to get you out of the place where you were.
You got to be kidding me. The Pokeball? You have plans for me?
You are free to go. I just would like some information on who your captors were so I can track them down.
They were called the Akaviri. They're a group of invaders from another land. They've been causing havoc and enslaving people in our region for quite some time now. The Akaviri came in, burning our homes and slaughtering our people. I saw them riding on some kind of creatures, massive beasts that looked like a mix between a bear and a lion.
I seem to have found some very interesting items in your inventory. Do you care to explain exactly what these things are?
Those are for relaxation purposes. Why do you ask?
You got the problem with it. Can't tell you where I got it. Dumb luck, I suppose. Maybe you should let me go before you kill me.
What made you decide to become a bandit in the first place?
What makes you think I had a choice? Born into it, I suppose. Couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Have you done anything terrible as a bandit?
Terrible? You mean besides stealing, killing, and causing chaos? Yeah, I've done some pretty terrible things. But hey, that's just bandit life for you.
Have you always wanted to be a bandit, or did you want to do something else before that?
Bandit life is all I've ever known. I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Do you still want to be a bandit, or do you wish that you didn't have to be?
What's the point of wishing for something that can't change? I'm a bandit, and I'll always be a bandit. It's who I am.
Here, do you want a cigarette?
You sure? I haven't had one in ages. But sure, I'll take it. Who knows, maybe it'll be my lucky break.
What's the most fun you've had as a bandit?
Most fun? Well, Shem, that's tough. But if I had to choose one, I'd say raiding that wealthy merchant caravan last month.
What kind of loot did you get?
That merchant caravan was loaded, I'll tell you that much.
What's the hardest part about being a bandit?
The hardest part? That's an easy one. Staying alive. We constantly have to watch our backs and be ready for trouble at any moment. Sometimes we lose good bandits, and it's not easy to replace them.
Goodbye. What made you decide to become a bandit?
Well, it wasn't like I had any other choices. Now was it? I was born into a life of poverty, and I couldn't see myself doing nothing but starving to death. So I turned to a life trying to survive. It ain't the most honorable way to live, but it's better than being dead, ain't it?
What's the worst crime that you've committed as a bandit?
I've done my fair share of bad shit, but the worst... that'd have to be when I robbed that caravan full of innocent travelers. They didn't stand a chance against us. I still remember the screams. I'll never forget that haul. We got our hands on some fine gear, gold, silver, precious gems, and a whole bunch of food. It was like Christmas came early that year. I spent most of it on booze and women, of course.
What is your ultimate goal as a bandit?
Retire someday, get myself an island. Honesty, I don't have one. I just take things day by day, living off the land and preying on those who can't defend themselves. But if you're asking about a grand scheme, or some ridiculous dream, I don't have one of those. I'm a bandit through and through, and I wouldn't do it any other way.
Not even retiring on an island like you were just talking about?
If I ever manage to get my hands on enough loot to buy that island, you bet your ass I'll be packing my bags. But until then, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Ah, Stalkner. That's a fine bottle of vodka right there.
You're looking a little drunk now. I think you had a little too much.
I could drink a lake full of this stuff and still ask for more.
How would you like to be turned into a vampire lord?
Are you serious? I've heard stories about vampires, and they don't sound like something I'd want to become. Besides, I'm perfectly happy being a bandit. I don't need any magical powers to make me feel alive.
Just give it a try. See how you feel.
Gods, no! Now ain't... You picked a bad time to get lost, friend. Bro, what the fuck was that for? You've got some brass ones, Q10. Okay, fine. I'll try it. But don't say I didn't warn you turning into a vampire ain't no walk in the park. No!
I can tell you didn't like it. You're pretty mad now.
That's all you've got? I'll kill you for this. Just you wait. I'll get my revenge. You won't be laughing when I'm coming for you in the dead of night.